Welcome to the Dead and Dusty Dad podcast, episode 5. This one is a more somber one and will be a shorter one because of the topic of the day. By the time that you are listening to this, it will be unless you listen to this late, this will be the Trans Day of Remembrance, the day that we spend time to remember the members of the trans community that have been murdered in the last year. Of course, you can observe it in the context of people that were killed years ago, decades even. I will go over the origins of the day. I will go over how people observe the day, because celebrate is not quite the right word, as well as a couple of trans individuals who died over the course of 2025 so far, in so much as they were on the Wikipedia article for trans people killed in different years. The Transgender Day of Remembrance was started primarily by three individuals: Gwendolyn Ann Smith, a transgender activist who ran the Transgender Community Forum on AOL from 93 to 98, one of the first online places for transgender people to gather. Nancy Nangeroni is, I believe, how her last name is pronounced, founder of Gender Talk Radio that operated in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where Sam Reich was cursed to have grown up in. Jahira Dialto Balenciaga, a mother to many younger queers and all-around advocate for the abused, who unfortunately was herself murdered in 2021 while helping to shelter an abused woman who herself was also murdered alongside her by that woman's husband, I believe it was. After the murder of Rita Hester, age 34 at the time, in 1998, Gwendolyn realized that nobody really remembered a fellow trans woman that was also murdered near where Rita was. Chanel Pickett was 23 when she died, and having her death be forgotten in just 3 years, this made Mrs. Smith wish to ensure that none of her trans siblings' untimely deaths would ever be forgotten again. The first day of remembrance took place in the November of 1999, with both Boston and San Francisco being cities where the local queer communities mourned their dead. It is now observed on the 20th of that month, the same night of Chanel's murder. By 2010, the day had been observed in over 185 cities within more than 20 countries. During the Trans Day of Remembrance, a reading of the names of those who died from October 1st of the former year to September 30th of the current year is done. As well, there are candlelight vigils, dedicated church services, marches, art shows, food drives, and film screenings. I'll be abbreviating it since it's a bit of a mouthful, so TDOR is not just about the dead, it is about the living too. It's about supporting our queer siblings no matter their gender, identity, or color. Black and Latin/Hispanic queers are targeted disproportionately, as police give less of a shit about them and their murders will go unsolved and unpunished. We can help each other make this world one worth living in. We can raise awareness, prevent erasure and misgendering, which is not just common in the media but also in academia. You've probably heard reports of them finding skeletons where it's like they're both guys and they're like embracing and they're like, oh, they must have been father and son, tenderly embracing as they died. And it's like, nah, they were gay. We can push for social and civil protections and persevere through the attempts to strip back what little we have currently. Most of all, we must remember so that we know what is at stake if we do nothing. Actions must be taken to protect ourselves and each other. I'd like to now bring up two murdered trans individuals that I could find on Wikipedia, as I mentioned before, but chances are there are several more. Sarah Millery Gonzalez, a trans woman from Belo Antioquia, Colombia, sorry if I butchered the pronunciation, was murdered in April 2025. She was 32 years old. Daquan Dream Johnson, a trans woman who was murdered in the northeast portion of Washington, D.C. in July 2025. She was 28 years old. While Meldman's potential murder wasn't brought to national attention, he did die under suspicious circumstances on the 8th of October 2023. He died because of several reasons, and if he wasn't outright murdered, he was still led to his death through the failure of those in his life to help him. In him is a cautionary tale, one that should serve as a warning against ignoring the plight of those within our lives. If you've lost family members to addiction, murder, or anything else, I'd love to hear about them. I'll respond to everybody that talks about them in the comments or on Blue Sky, where I'll make a post about the topic. I don't know what else to say about it right now, what words to use to help even begin to describe how I feel for others that have lost their loved ones. So I'll just end this video like I end most of my videos. To stay safe, stay strong, and remember that trans rights are human rights.